We're so happy that you all made it here. Thank you for coming. Thank you for taking the time in your, I'm sure, busy lives. It's really great to see you. I would like to thank also the partners in the project that is behind this symposium and the research and action project behind it. Aarhus University, which is my university, Tina's university, Trapholt, of course, and particularly Karen and Nina, and the Vigos Foundation, who have has funded the project and thereby also this symposium. And then also the artists who have contributed to the artworks we have been researching, and not least all the citizens who have been involved. Just very few words about the project that this symposium ends. It's called CraftWorks. It has been running for the last 4 years, and it is about the creative, institutional, and social potentials of new forms of craft-based participation at the Art Museum. And what we wanted to do in the project, when we applied for money 4 years ago or 5 years ago, was to explore and develop new methodologies for art museums to become more democratic and polyphonic, and to create relational spaces of people and art. And that resulted in, well, 2 large-scale craft-based collaborative art projects like the one on time you saw, most of you saw on our tour, Data Mirror and Things Matter, and we'll tell more about that a little later. And we have, Tina and I, collected a lot of data on these projects, really a lot, I would say. Documents, we've made surveys, we've made a lot of interviews with the participants, also the artists, but we have mainly been focusing on the participants. We've made a lot of observations both here at the museum, in online workshops, at partner institutions, and small groups, pilot groups, and more. And then we have analyzed all the embroidered and knitted contributions and the reflections, because when they hand in their piece, all the participants, they also write a small text about it. Some of them have also written diaries. We asked them, do you want to make a diary? And some of them have done that. And we have followed the Facebook group. So this is the basis of what at least Tina and I are going to say a little later. But then we wanted to also move beyond this project at this symposium, not just focus on what we have been doing, but also to look at how does it point further out in the future. So that was why we made this focus for the symposium: how can museums find openings in times of uncertainty and become spaces of hope and action. And you've all read that when we invited you to come here. So I will not read it again, just say that we focus on 3 aspects: the affective, useful, and collaborative action. And we have mixed them also in the individual sessions, so there's not necessarily one session on that and one on that. We have tried to group you so that it makes sense, and I hope it does to you. And we have also asked you, what are the most important hopes and potentials for the next 5 to 10 years, and what possible projects would you propose to initiate? And maybe you will not, I think some of you will focus on that in your presentations, some of you will probably not, but then we can talk about it over lunch and coffee and dinner and so on. But the focus is on hope. There's a Danish poet, Søren Ulrik Thomsen, very famous in Denmark, who says that as long as you put the milk back in the refrigerator, so that it can stay fresh until tomorrow, you have hope for the future. I hope we have a little bit more hope than that here. Both a little bit more for the world outside our apartment or house and for each other, and also a little bit more long-term hopes. Raymond Williams wrote about hope many years ago, and some of his essays is collected in this Resources of Hope, a collection of essays and talks. And a very often quoted sentence of his is, to be truly radical is to make hope possible rather than despair convincing. I think it's a good quote, and I'm happy to tell you that you can get it on a tea towel. It's 100% organic cotton, and it only costs 14 pounds. So 14 pounds of hope, radical hope, you can get there. One of the writers on hope that I'm inspired by is Rebecca Solnit, who, when she published a new edition of Hope in the Dark in 2016, wrote it like this, and I will read this. It is important to say what hope is not. It is not the belief that everything was, is, or will be fine. The evidence is all around us of tremendous suffering and destruction. The hope I'm interested in is about broad perspectives with specific possibilities, ones that invite or demand that we act. Hope locates itself in the premises that we don't know what will happen, and that in the spaciousness of uncertainty is room to act. When you recognize uncertainty, you recognize that you may be able to influence the outcomes. You alone, or you in concert with a few dozen or several million others. The image here is from Valencia after the flood 6 months ago or something like that, when 45,000 people from other areas of Spain came to Valencia to help cleaning after the flood. There was an uncertain time there with a room to act. But I also hope that we here in the symposium can act in concert with each other, because as Rebecca Solnit also says, hope is something we do together. And I hope we'll do that in the next 2.5 days. And then I just want to say welcome to all of you. Really nice to see you.